Hello, hello. We are back with Death unto Madness. Speaking of death, let's talk with Ophelia, shall we? What is Ophelia up to? I mean, I feel like the thing that she's like currently occupied with, right, is showing Althea around, like giving her the ropes. Maria? Something's gone wrong.
I don't. She's muted.
Well, I don't know if she could hear.
Uh oh, she's putting her earbuds in.
Can you hear me now, Maria?
Yeah, my headphones are not working. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah. Honestly, that sounds better.
Okay, I'm not going to use my headphones anymore. They're being dumb.
So I mean, I feel like right with Ophelia, we're probably gonna pick up with her kind of showing Althea the ropes, right?
Yeah.
Right to Maria.
I'm completely lost now.
I was just
So,
gonna say, like, I think we probably pop over to Ophelia, and she's probably showing Althea the ropes, right? Like of your,
oh,
like,
yeah.
what what does that look like?
Um, I probably don't show her where I live yet.
Okay,
Um, so I feel like I'd be really mean just because I'm known to be cruel. It's kind of one of my traits. So I feel
it's
like I'll
true.
straight up tie her to a tree. Just leave
Okay.
her outside for a bit. Um, I feel
All
like
right.
that's an initiation process.
Sure. Okay, so what is your like goal with that exactly? What do you tell her? Do you like how does that all go down?
Um, I'm probably the point of it is just to one, see how strong she is, mentally and physically, and then two, um probably to show her like, oh, you're actually stronger than you think, and um like just to try to show her the amount of potential that I see in her. So I'll probably just kind of leave her there and then like take her salamander, just to like wreck her,
Yeah.
just to like really mess her up, and then just like tell her to wait. And I just look at her and I just say wait, and she just has to stay there until I come back and get her.
So did you actually are we tying her up or is this just stand in the middle of the woods?
Um, Maybe I tell her to like lay down and I tell her not to move. That way she can actually do that. Because if I told her just to stand and wait, then she'd eventually have to move to like
Yeah.
sleep. Plus, I love the whole, that scene in the Fellowship of the Ring when they all have to hide from the ring wraith and all
Yeah.
like the spiders and stuff. Like, I love that. So I'd love it if I was like, okay, you have to lay down and you have to wait there till I come back, no matter what. And like all these creepy crawlies are on her and stuff. Maybe my snake comes and bothers her a little bit, stuff like that, just to really freak her out. And then if she's, I guess it's just kind of a test. And then
Yeah.
if she's chill about it and like obeys, I guess, then I'll come back. Um, I don't know how long of a thing it would be. Maybe before I tell her that, I give her something to eat and I give her some water and then I leave her for like, I don't know, like 3 days. Is that too long?
I think it's just about the edge of human ability to go without water, but maybe it rains, who knows?
Yeah. And maybe that's the point, is to say, like, I'm going to bring you to the brink of death just to show you can handle it. Um, and if you don't, then you're useless to me anyway. And if you die, then I didn't need you. That kind of thing.
Okay.
Because
So
I'm known to be a lunatic and really cruel, right?
no,
That's
this
those
makes
are
total sense. I love it. Okay. So I want to play out some of that scene, okay? So you've just kind of explained to her what you're actually going to do. And she just looks at you and frowns and she says, "You want me to stay here by myself?"
I say yes, but you won't be alone in the way that you think.
Well, if you're taking Red, then I will be alone. Who else is there?
You'll see.
Okay, and so you're basically just telling her like, are you telling her it's a test or just saying like, do this because I'm in charge of you now, basically?
Basically just that, because I don't want her to have that like peace at all. I really want to
Yeah.
bring her to the edge, and then
Okay. Yeah, let's have you roll something to like convince her to stay here.
okay.
Um so the way you just described it sounds like a command roll, but
Okay.
you could do it a different way if you wanted to use like falsehood or oratory, which are your like actual like um social skills that you're good at.
Okay.
Other
Well,
Yeah,
I'm definitely I am lying in a way
sure.
because I'm in the way that I'm not telling her the whole truth.
Yeah,
Um,
I think yeah that makes sense. I think you could probably use falsehood here because you're basically just saying like, hey, like okay, what is the actual reason you're giving her for like why?
um, I'm not sure I'm actually giving her a reason. I think I'm just like, you're mine now, so you have to do this.
Yeah, so
And
that's not a falsehood, right? That's a command roll.
yeah. I mean, I could give her a reason just so I can use falsehood.
Right, that's the thing, right? You could give her a false reason and then totally falsehood is on the table. But if you're literally just saying, you have to do this because I'm in charge of you, it's either like ugly truth or command.
So, what if I lied to her about when I'd come back? Would that be
I don't think that's enough. Like if you had this like the skill command or ugly truth and you had a lie be part of it, then you could fork it in, right? It would like help you, but you can't fork skills in when it's being learned. So yeah,
okay?
it
So, I
wouldn't actually.
tell her a lie about why I'm doing that.
Yeah,
Okay.
basically you either have to lie to her about the reason or roll a different skill.
Okay. So, my actual reason I'm giving her a test. Maybe I'll tell her that she will meet, um, meet my God, maybe.
Sure.
And I'm because then she'd really want to do that. So I'm like, if you
Yeah.
wait here long enough, they'll come to you.
Yeah, basically you're telling her like, okay, I mean, the gods brought me to you and now I'm going to bring you to them, right? So you have to stay here, you have to do this thing that I told you to do, and this is the way you commune with them, which is not true at all.
Right.
But who knows? Stranger things have happened. Okay, yeah, I think you can roll falsehood for that.
Okay. So,
So let's take a look at your skills and see what else might help you.
um,
So she does have the life path apostate, so you could fork in apostate wise.
okay, yeah. I feel like a lot of these could actually go with it, just because of the situation. Um,
Cultist wise, I think you could also fork in.
yeah. So those two.
Gods wise.
Yeah. Those were the ones I was thinking of. Yeah. Um,
And oratory probably. You're probably, I mean, describing things in a flowery and poetic manner, which I assume Ophelia does often anyway,
mhm.
is part of this for sure.
Okay, so oratory, gods wise.
Apostate wise and cultist wise.
Okay, so how do I do all of that?
So basically, it's just like when you put in modifiers, you put the amount of skills you can fork in.
So I'm
Um,
rolling falsehood with 3 modifiers.
with one,
And,
two, three,
oh, 4.
4. Yes,
Is that legal?
it is. Yeah.
Sweet. Okay, so do I just do that?
Yeah, and your obstacle is gonna be. Where's Althea's character sheet? 3.
3. Okay, so I do 4 modifiers. And then 3.
There you go.
Yeah, get destroyed.
Cool, awesome. So your routine test doesn't help you, unfortunately, so you don't get a test for it really. But you succeed, right? You tell her, you lie to her about the reason for doing this, and so she nods slowly and she says, All right, Ophelia. I do indeed want to get in touch with the gods of old. I will listen to you. Please take care of Red. And then she just lays back on the forest canopy like the forest princess, the mad forest princess that she is.
Perfect. And I probably smirk to myself because it does make me happy to see her do that because it reminds me of myself.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess I just turn around and go home.
So this is the way I think I'm going to do this. Over the next 3 days, she makes 3 fort tests. And this is mainly for water, right? Because if she can't move, she is slowly being dehydrated. And so I'm going to have her make 3 fort tests to just tough it out. And if she fails the fort test, then she loses an amount. She gets taxed in fort, an amount equal to the margin of failure. So basically, if she and if she gets down to, she has a fort of 4, so if she taxes herself all the way to 4, then she basically, goes unconscious and probably takes a wound, or something bad will happen at that point. Ophelia, are you watching her the whole time?
I am not. I would send.
Skion is.
Well, I was thinking about it, and I don't know whether to send Skion or
Vernon.
Vernon, yeah.
Either would work.
I feel like I'll use Vernon because
Sure.
Skion won the last one.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'll have Vernon go.
Yeah, just like curled around a tree branch nearby, watching the whole situation. Yeah. Okay, cool. So day 1, she has to make a fort test. Let's see. What do I want the test to be? I think I'm going to start the obstacle at 2 and then increase it every day.
Okay. And if she gets really messed up,
you'll probably swoop in, yeah.
I'll let her get completely destroyed because I do like her.
Yeah. So, first day. There you go. She's fine. She survives the day. Just laying in the forest by herself. This is wonderful.
That's my dream.
You're great. You're great, Ophelia. Second day. Okay. She gets taxed by 1. So unfortunately, this will also make it harder to do the fort test too. So she basically has a fort of 3 now, and the next roll will be impossible, right? So for her, because of the fact that it's now, because it increases by 1 every time, she only has at 3 and fort. Yeah, so she basically, the last day, she goes unconscious, right? She passes out of dehydration. Yeah. Okay. So basically, yeah, it's like she almost passed the test. But she didn't move. She stayed there, and she passed out, and basically will die of dehydration unless you swoop in and save her.
Okay. And this is exactly what I was expecting too. This is what I wanted to happen, I think, also.
Okay.
Because the test I was giving her was just to
stay there and move, yeah. Yeah.
And she did. She passed the test she thought she was taking, and so she'll probably be sad. I'll of course come and carry her to my house. Actually,
you know what? I'm gonna because the test is about will more than fort. So this was her body's reaction to it. I am gonna have her make a will roll to see if she does stake it out, or as she's slowly dying of dehydration, just can't stand it anymore and just starts stumbling around the forest.
Okay. This is the one I care about.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. She did it.
Good girl. Yay.
Yeah. So she she waits to the point of death, basically.
That's what I want.
Mm-hmm. So yeah. I'm trying to decide if I want to give her a wound. How does tax actually work? Give me a second. What does this actually do if you get all the way down? I think you do get a wound or something. Let's see. Tax. Here you go. Rendered unconscious. Oh, for each point his fort drops below 0, he takes physical damage equal to the obstacle of the spell in pips on the grayscale. Okay. Multiple dice for loss. Pips are cumulative. Okay.
So what if I had...
So, yeah. Well, Ricka, I was just going to say, she doesn't actually take a wound or anything. She just drops unconscious, basically.
Okay, because I kind of want her to have to be, like, bedridden for a bit.
Mm-hmm.
So what if once she goes unconscious, I have Vernon, like, bite her. And then when I have her come back to my house, and she wakes up and she's like, I didn't see them. And then I point to the bite that she has, and I'm like, no, they were there. You were just unconscious, so you didn't see them. And I just completely mess with her.
Okay, sure. Yes, you can have. I assume
As
Vernon
all
is
cult leaders
poisonous.
do.
Yeah, seriously. I assume Vernon is poisonous then.
Yeah.
Okay. How poisonous?
See, that's what I was wondering. Is I want him to be pretty dang poisonous, but I don't want to kill her. So if there was a way that I could make it so that he's like really poisonous, but it doesn't kill her, like if I...
Or that you have the antidote, maybe?
Yeah, like maybe I have the antidote or something like that where I can make it so that it's not actually super bad. Just enough to have her have to...
So I'll let you basically, if you want to, the poison, right, can either be like a debilitating poison, so it gives her like odd penalties to stuff, or it can be like she gets a wound. Which one? What does your snake actually do? Is it like a debilitating poison where you start to like not work correctly, or is it like you could die from this in terms of like just damage to yourself?
So like would the first one be like he'd paralyze them or something?
Not necessarily paralyzed so much as like make everything harder to do. Right, so he would give her like a +2 obstacle to everything until the poison goes away.
I don't know, because I feel like it'll be more convenient later for him to actually be like really poisonous.
I know, yeah.
I feel like I'm gonna use him to kill people at some point.
Yeah. Duh.
Yeah, so I think I want him to be legitimately poisonous, just not kill her. So if I have an antidote or I have something that I make it a little bit less. Enough that it still does something, but doesn't kill her.
Yeah, let's... So one thing to keep in mind is you don't actually have like apothecary or herbalism or anything like that. So, and you don't have an antitoxin on your character sheet. So unless you're going to have to like find some, oh, well, okay. Zoe, the royal gardener, obviously. Do you want to have talked to her and have her give you?
Well, does my forest wise come into play with this? With that at all?
You could roll it to like know about a treatment, but to actually use it correctly is like the skill apothecary or herbalism or something.
Okay.
But I mean, you literally have a relationship with Zoe, so you don't need to roll anything to find her. You can literally just be like, "Hey, meet me in the woods." Like you could send your raven, be like, "Hey, meet me in the woods," and you could just clandestinely meet with her and like try to convince her to give you some poison. You'd have to like roll to like tell her, "Hey, this is a good idea," but it wouldn't be super difficult because she's friendly to you.
Okay, yeah, I'll do that.
Perfect. Okay, so I think probably what happens, right, is Ophelia, like, while Althea is dying of dehydration in the woods, you just go have a meeting with Zoe. Right? So we see this blind woman, right, just standing in a copse of trees by herself, huddled over. She has a bunch of really saggy tattoos now because she was tattooed when she was younger because that's the cultural thing that her people does. But she's obviously really old now. And she's standing there. And how do you appear, Ophelia? Are you actually waiting there for her, or what?
I don't know, because I think I respect her almost as a superior. Like, she's probably the one person that I treat like that.
Sure, yeah.
And I don't know which would be more respectful, because I wouldn't want to keep her waiting, but I also wouldn't want to seem like, oh, you're here to meet me. You know?
Right.
So maybe I'm sitting and waiting for her.
Sure. Okay.
I'm like sitting crisscross because that's the way Ophelia sits for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Cool,
Yeah.
cool. Let's see. Cool, yeah. So she walks in and then says, "Ah, Ophelia, so good to notice you."
And at that point, I probably stand and I don't know what's respectful then, because my knee jerk was to just kind of like nod.
I mean, she basically a slave, or she was at least, right? Like, so you can, any amount of respect is going to be respectful to her. So,
So maybe I like kind of just bow my head, and I feel like kissing her hand would be good.
sure, yeah,
Because she's blind, right? So she
yeah,
wouldn't really see me nod my head. It's just kind of the thing that I do, and then I go
yeah,
over and like kiss her hand just to feel like, oh, I'm here, I'm respecting you, and I like you
sure,
because you're my mom, kind of.
yeah. Yeah, and so she says, "It has been some time since I have seen you, Ophelia. What brings you back to Sinia?"
Ooh, I don't actually know why I come back. Did we establish why I come back?
I think you heard about the madness of the king, and you were worried about Avra.
Oh yeah. How would I put that? Maybe I just kind of say, yeah. So I just go, the castle is shaking, and I just say that.
Yeah. She nods sagely and says, "Yes, cracks in the cracks in the stonework, both in the heart of the mountain and the heart of men."
And then maybe I just kind of segue from heart of men. Like, speaking of hearts of men, I'm kind of killing one right now. So I wouldn't say it like that.
Yeah, yeah.
I feel like from there I would go and it's like, yeah, I'm trying to heal the cracks and I need a little bit of help.
I suppose I should have expected that you didn't just call to say hello. What do you need, Ophelia?
I say, do you remember Vernon?
Yes.
Do you still have, oh, what's the word for that?
Antitoxin?
Antitoxin.
Antivenom, maybe, actually.
Yeah. Do you still have antivenom for him?
Well, let's have her make a roll to see if she does. Let's see here. Herbalism. Okay, it's going to be an Ob 5 test. She is adding 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 3 modifiers. There we go. Boom. That was a good roll. That was like a really good roll. Like, yeah. So, yes, she does have it still. And so she nods and she says, "The flowers still grow in my garden, yes. I can distill their essence if it is required. What do you need it for, Ophelia? Have you run out of the ones that I gave you already?"
Oh, I don't know whether to be playful or not because that was kind of my knee jerk was to just kind of be playful with her.
Yeah.
Maybe I just kind of say that's none of your business, but in like a playful way.
Yeah. Maybe something like, when the gods took your eyes, there were some things they didn't mean for you to see.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, so I think She nods. And then I think this is the point where you make like an argument for like why she should give you them and then make a roll. Right? So, I mean, obviously your two main things that you use to like get things done is falsehood and oratory. So, are you going to just lie to her about like why she should give you this stuff, or are you going to make a grand speech of some sort? Or you could do something else and have to roll a skill you don't have.
I think I'll probably lie because I feel like if I flat out told her, "Oh yeah, I'm starting a new cult," she'd be like, "Not sure that's a good idea."
Yeah. That would also be persuasion, and you're not good at that, so.
Yeah. So I think I'll lie, and I'll just say like, Vernon's been in like a weird mood, and he's been like trying to hunt more, and sometimes he's just being funky and will bite me, and I don't like that, and I want to have some antitoxin on hand just in case.
Sure.
He continues to be weird.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, make that falsehood test.
This is where I just hit the die on falsehood again, right?
Yes. I don't know if there's anything that helps you here. You can always add a astrology die after the fact if you would like.
Okay, but for now I just roll falsehood normally.
Well, so I mean, yeah, if you want to, sorry, I worded that weirdly. You can also add in astrology, which you will roll as a separate die after the roll, but you have to decide now whether or not you're going to use it.
Okay. Well, I'm pretty good at falsehood, right?
Yeah, and you also have a call-on trait, so you could, if you failed the test, you could also use your call-on to re-roll all the failed dice.
Okay.
So.
And she's well-disposed to me anyway, right? Does that help at all?
Yeah, I mean, this will just be a normal test, right? So, like, normally you'd have to, like, you'd get, like, a +2 ob or something if it's, like, a bad circles or an enemy of yours or whatever. But yeah, just a normal, like, convince me that this is a good idea, so nothing too crazy.
Just a 1 obstacle?
Oh, no, sorry, it's based on her will, so it's a 4. Oh, that was such a bad roll.
Yike.
But you can use your call on and reroll all the dice again except for that one.
Okay.
Do you want to do that?
Yeah, because I need...
Yeah, so basically roll 4d6.
So is that R/ or...
It's /R.
I'm always going to get that mixed up.
No, yeah, it's totally fine. I started off doing it the other way around, so that was my fault. I'm going to mix you up forever because of that. Yeah, 46. And then, so basically just do this except for without the period at the beginning.
Okay.
Because then the other stuff will make it automatically reroll and tell you how many successes you get and stuff. Oh my gosh.
Goodness.
That was so bad. That had no right to be that bad of a roll.
That's rude. I feel abused.
Wow. All right. Well, you can mark a difficult test on your falsehood, but you fail. So she looks at you and she says, "Ophelia, I thought we trusted each other.
Oh no.
Do you remember what happened the last time you lied to me?"
No clue how to respond. I feel awful.
Yep. She gives you the, I mean, she would give you a look, but she gives the ground or the space behind you a disappointed look.
And I guess I just kind of go home. Maybe, yeah.
I mean, you could roll another skill, right? You could try to give her a grand speech of being like, okay, this is the real reason I need it, and this is why it's important.
Okay, yeah. Wait, so I mark.
You just can't do falsehood again.
I mark a difficult on falsehood, right?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry if you can hear the sirens.
No, you're good.
Yikes. Okay. Maybe I'll do oratory just because. Yeah. Especially since I feel bad, I don't want to leave off on that note.
Yeah.
So I'll do that.
right? So this is like you giving a speech or a grand explanation of what you're doing.
And then, can I fork anything in?
So it depends on what you say, right? Like if we can talk about that, like if you literally want to be like, all right, Zoe, I'm starting a cult. The gods aren't dead. I'm bringing them back. Like you could fork in like God's wise and right, like those sorts of things.
Yeah, because I think at this point I would just be flat honest with her and tell her like everything.
Yeah,
Especially after the whole like I thought we trusted each other.
exactly.
I'd be like, okay, you want to know? I will tell you. It's gonna freak you out, but I'm gonna do it.
Yeah. But yeah, you could definitely fork in God's wise then.
Mm-hmm.
Let's try to check if there's anything else. Probably cultist wise.
Okay.
And that sounds like that's it.
Okay. So I'll
So
do
you
two
can get
modifiers.
2 modifiers. You could also decide to add an astrology die if you would like to.
That one makes me nervous because it's real bad, and my last
Yep.
2 rolls were absolute crap.
Mm-hmm.
Is it super bad if I lose this though? Because I haven't poisoned Althea yet, have I?
No, yeah, no, you haven't poisoned her yet, so it's not like you've killed her and won't have the antidote. Don't worry, yeah.
So I think I'll add the astrology die just
Sure.
because
Yep.
it's not gonna kill anybody if I don't.
Yeah, so you're gonna add 2 modifiers, but you'll have after the roll, you will roll another die to be the astrology die.
Okay. And then what's the obstacle? Is it?
You can also add a Artha if you wanted to, a persona. Wait, did you already spend one?
No.
No. Okay. Oh, you did. You did it on stealthy.
Oh, I did. So I need to.
Sorry,
that
there you
to
go.
one.
I got it for you.
There you go. Okay. How's it going now? Okay. I'm not gonna use one
Yeah.
of those because this isn't vital. So what's the obstacle?
Obstacle is still 4. Still here, Will. Yeah. There you go. Okay, we'll roll the extra die because it might take away successes.
Okay, and then
1d6. /R space 1d6. Okay, yeah. So it automatically rerolls too. So you get. Wait. Yeah, so you get 2 more successes basically. So yes, exactly a 6. Nice.
yay!
Fate was in your favor.
She liked my honesty. even
Yeah,
though-
and I think literally what it is, Ophelia, is like she smiles and she says, "Good, Ophelia. I was hoping that that when you returned, you would have the ambition I remembered. I will help you with this. I have seen into your future, Ophelia. I have seen great, great things. And I will ensure that they happen. The fates will not be capricious with your destiny. I will ensure that they follow the threads, weaving towards your eventual triumph." And then she hands you over some anti-venom, and she says, "Take it, child. Use it well." And she like grasps your hand and like,
Sweet. And I feel like I give her one of my orchids.
yeah.
So I'll give her one of my orchids and then.
Cool. Lit. Yeah, so you want to have your snake bite Althea
Yeah.
and then give her the antitoxin stuff, anti-venom. What do you want that to accomplish, basically?
I just want to like really cover up what that whole thing was.
Yeah.
Because I want her to like really trust me. Because then I can do a whole thing where it's like, because I feel like she'd be like laying down on a little cot in my little house, and she'd be all delirious, and she'd wake up and be like, I like failed and I didn't see
Yeah.
that. And then I'll show her like maybe her wrist or wherever.
Right.
she got the bite, and I'll be like, no, they were there. That's the mark that they make, and you just were asleep, so you didn't meet them. And if you let me, I'll teach you to be able to stay awake, and then you'll meet them eventually. And then I'll just basically promise her that I'll teach her, and then she'll be like, yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. So I think basically what happens, right, is the only thing that really happens, because she's already like completely wrecked from the dehydration. So you can have the snake bite her, give her the anti-venom, and then the snake's bite itself, the only real purpose of it is to have the mark on her, right, and give her the story. So yeah, I think her eyes flutter open after a couple more days of just like being wrecked. And she looks at you and says like, Ophelia, I'm so sorry. I failed you. I wasn't strong enough. The gods didn't show themselves to me.
And then I'll go over to her and I'll give her her salamander back, because that'll make her happy.
Yeah, and she like strokes it lovingly.
Yeah. And I'll be kind of sweet, but not sweet enough to be like motherly.
Right.
I want her to like fear me a little bit, but I'll kind of mix it in. So I'd probably say something like flat out, like, yeah, you failed. Cause like, hello, it's right here.
Yeah.
But I'll show you how to not fail.
Yeah. So basically you're like, so this is what happened, but I'm going to show you how to not fail. Join me and together we can rule the galaxy. It's that sort of thing. Okay, cool. Yeah. So I'm trying to decide. I want you to make an oratory roll there to basically just be like, to get her like completely like on board with all of this. Mm-hmm. But you can fork in apostate wise, cult doctrine and cultist wise, demonology, gods wise, heretical doctrine. Because I assume, right, you tell her about like the grand plan, right? Like you're like, this is what we're gonna do.
I let her in.
Yeah, and so all of that stuff is included, right, in what you're attempting to accomplish with this cult. So
how many things is that?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
And then what's the obstacle?
Ob 3. She's very easy to convince of things. Only 3. Wow. Just barely succeed. But yeah, I mean, she's on board, right? She says like, and so you were framing it to her more as like you didn't actually like, tell her the truth in a lot of ways, just more like a general like, you know, we are going to serve the gods and they aren't actually dead and we're going to find them. And this was the way like you began your first step towards communing with them, and this mark is part of it and all that stuff, right? Technically, I think you could have also forked in falsehood then, because you lied to her. But you didn't need it, so. Yeah. So mark a routine on your oratory. Mark 2 routines on your oratory. But yeah, Althea is on board with the cult. She's like, yes, let's do it. So I think we pop over to Cyrillus. So Cyrillus, you just, you finished cleaning up the dead body and the blood. And, you know, you don't have to roll for that. It's just manual labor sort of a thing. And I think at some point after that, Bastian pulls you aside. Say you just finished a shift guarding the royal chambers or whatever, and he pulls you aside and says, so right, this is the captain of the royal guard, played by Hugh Jackman. He says, Cyrillus, a word. Walk with me. He's just like walking down the halls of the palace. And he doesn't say anything for a little while. And then finally he says, the king told me the events of yesterday.
Okay.
And I think he says, since you are the newest recruit into the guard, I will, of course, be lenient.
Thank you.
And then he just kind of nods to himself, and he leads you out into like the kind of what is it? Like a training ground, I guess is kind of what it is, like for the guard, right? So there's like
Okay.
dummies and but this is also where discipline happens, and I think he leads you over to a pole in the center of like this like sand ground sort of a thing,
Mm-hmm.
arena sort of type thing, and he looks at you and he says, "I am sorry about this, Cyrillus, but by order of the king, I am supposed to give you 20 lashes." How do you
Okay.
respond?
I guess I accept. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't want to make it worse.
Exactly, yeah. So he strips you to the waist, ties you to the pole, grabs the whip,
Mhm.
the cat of nine tails or whatever, and gives you the physical discipline or whatever. And I think basically you just get a midi wound.
Okay.
So that's 2 wound dice. Which doesn't make you pass out. You're still like up, but it gives you -2 dice to everything you do until you get it like treated. But I think they probably like, I don't know if they like treat you right after necessarily. I think I don't know. They probably would, right? They wouldn't just like be like, yeah, open wound. All right, sorry, take care of it yourself.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't think they'd want their guards to like die unless they were like trying to get them to die.
Yeah. So I think probably you get treatment. So I'll roll for like the whatever doctor or whatever they have. Where is injury stuff? Here we go. Treatment for midi wound. Oh, holy crap. They got 1 success. This is awful. I'm so sorry.
It is what it is.
Okay, so it gets treated, but not well.
Okay.
Let's see. Failed treatment. Basically what this means is you... Oh, dang, this is bad. Yeah, Cyrillus, you get a permanent penalty in one stat. Like, you can get it back by advancing the stat again.
Right.
But, so choose one of your physical stats to basically have a permanent, like, this wound, like, wrecks you.
Okay. So, physical stat. So would that be one of these like...
That'd be power, agility, fort, or speed.
Okay. Okay, what does fort do again?
Fort is like your like toughness, constitution, resistance to poison, that sort of thing.
I'll drop my fort by 1.
All right, sounds good. Cool. So, yeah, you're just more prone to exhaustion, sickness, so on and so forth. But then it goes down to a
Or isn't that bad anyway, so...
Yeah. It goes down to a light wound, basically. So, and this will take 2 to 12 weeks to recover from. So, roll a 2d6. I know, yeah. Getting wounds and burning wheel is bad. I was just hoping that you would get the treatment You should have.
Oh well. Okay, so I'm rolling.
Roll 2d6 basically for the amount of weeks.
So I type what?
Sorry, /R
Okay.
space
2d6.
2d6. Yep.
Okay.
All right.
6.
6 weeks.
Okay.
So I'm gonna mark that in your combat section here. In your recovery, 6 weeks. So we'll try to keep track of the passage of time.
Okay.
And but so basically everything you do from here on out until that wound goes away is at -1, which is fun. So you're still reeling from the wound, and like I mean this is serious, right? Like the king could have had you executed for less,
Right.
just because this is the kind of society that this is. But yeah, Bastion's like, okay, we've given you lashes and you're gonna hurt a lot for a while. But you know, it is what it is. And I think he takes you aside after this all happens, you get treated and whatnot. And he says, Cyrillus, since you are currently recovering from your discipline, I have a task for you that won't be quite as strenuous.
Okay.
The king has asked me to look into possible conspirators that may have been working with the high priest against him. I would like you to look into this possibility. Maybe go to the temple, ask around, do what you have to do.
Okay. I will do that.
Yeah, and he looks at you kind of seriously and he says, this is a way for you to prove yourself, Cyrillus. To show both me and the king that the lashes were not needed.
Okay, I understand.
Yeah. So, I mean, what would be your first step on that?
Well, I got that talisman, and I know something's wonky with it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you could literally go to the
So
temple anyway, right? And be like,
Yeah,
hey.
I would go to that temple and be like, what's up with this?
Cool. Sounds good. So, let's look at your circles, shall we? Because
Okay.
you're trying to find someone
I
to help you.
believe so.
And basically this is right, like knowing someone who would be willing to talk to you.
Okay.
Did we give you? What am I looking for? Okay, yeah. I was gonna say you don't have an affiliation with the Royal Guard. Most of the Guard does, but you're
No.
like, I think once we get to a trait vote, when we get to the end of an arc, that's probably one of the things that we'll look at is getting you like an official affiliation with the Royal Guard, which will give you bonuses on circles rolls like this. But as of right now, you're a rookie, so you don't get the benefits. You don't get the sweet healthcare plan. So circles. All right, you were looking for someone within the same setting, but not the same life path as you. Let's see, what life paths do you have? You have son of a gun, boy, city guard, sergeant. You were a sergeant in the military setting, right? Yeah, I think that's the only place that is.
Yes.
So yeah, you were officially part of the like Sinian military at one point. So yeah, you're trying to find someone basically within the city life path or the city setting. So it's like someone within that you could have crossed paths with, but isn't the same life path as you. So you didn't like work side by side. So that'll be a little bit more difficult. But I think that's probably all the modifiers you get on this. So it's going to be Ob 3, which is unfortunately starts off being impossible for you because of circles. You have a circles of 2 right now. But there are ways you can mitigate this. We could roll. You could do a linked test. You could spend your persona point to get an extra die on this test. You also have a fate point that you could use after the fact. What do you think?
What is a link test?
So link test is basically, so you can't fork into circles rolls, like get just a die off the cuff, but you can roll one of your skills to be like, I'm going to do this legwork in advance to then give myself a bonus on the circles roll. So, for example, we could have you go drinking. And,
Okay.
right, you could be like, I want to get information on who would be the person to talk to or something like that.
Okay.
Maybe go to the temple quarter and drink with some priests, right? That could be a way you could do
That
this.
sounds like something my character would do.
Yeah, I think it is. You want to do that then?
Sure.
Cool. Well, you know what would actually even be more helpful for you?
Oh.
What if you did this in the dock district? Because if you're looking for the temple of Pyrrhus, right? Sailors go to the temple all the time, so maybe you're kind of crossing the streams there and doing this with sailors, and maybe priests that like ship chaplains, right? That that were are priests of Pyrrhus and know people. So that in that case you can add in sailor wise, right? For your drinking test. So you roll drinking. You can get a 1 modifier.
Drinking. Okay, so I click drinking, 1 modifier. Artha, I'm not using any obstacle.
Obstacle, I think, is going to be 2. And so, again,
2.
The way link tests work is if you get a 2, nothing happens either way. All right. If you get a 1, then you get an increased obstacle. But you got a 6, so you can spend your fate point to reroll that 6. And you have a 50-50 chance of succeeding.
Oh, there's a 6.
Yeah. Yeah, if you ever want to know what dice you rolled, you can go over the successes with your mouse. And
might as well.
Cool.
I'll do it.
Yeah, roll a d6 then.
So, is that /R or R/?
/R, yeah.
Okay. 1d6. Oh my gosh.
All right, so apparently you have made it more difficult to accomplish this. It's now an of 4 circles test. Which is fine. You can still roll it. It just means that the priest you talk to won't like you, right?
Okay. So, first with drinking, I'm gonna put a 1 in the fate circle and then click routine 1.
Yes,
is that
indeed? Yep.
Okay? And then I remove my fate point.
Yep.
Okay.
Perfect. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So then I guess click on circles, unless you wanted to try another linked test, but that could also make it worse. So
no, I think I've done enough damage.
Sounds good.
So 0 modifiers.
Yeah, 0 modifiers. And then if you want to, you could spend your persona point with Artha on this.
What will that do?
It will give you an extra die.
No, I'll just have them not like me.
Yeah. And then put the ob as 4.
It is what it is.
Okay, so mark that challenging test, though.
Challenging test on circles?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you just need 2 routine. So you need to go try to circles up some people who were directly in your life paths. Find some fellow soldiers.
Okay. I need some friends.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I mean, basically what this means, because it's not like you don't find any priests. Like, you know where the temple is.
Right.
I think what it is they got word that people were going to investigate them, and they're all really standoffish and defensive because they know what could happen if they say the wrong thing or whatever. So I think you walk into the temple of Pyrrhus. Cyrillus, what does the temple look like? Like, what kind of thing do you think that would be in the temple of Pyrrhus, of the ocean god?
Well, we've got columns on the outside.
Yeah, of course.
Holding it up.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess we got some columns on the inside, too.
Fair, yeah. Very likely.
So it's like a Corinthian column.
Yeah, okay.
Love my art history class that I took. Thanks for teaching me that. But like the little Corinthian part, it's not like leaves, it's waves.
Oh, of course, yeah.
And there's like not a fountain, but there's just like like a pool in the middle, or I
Literally a
guess
pool, yeah.
kind of like at the altar or something
Sure.
there.
Maybe there's like a pool, and then in the center of the pool, there's like a pedestal on which they do sacrifices or whatever.
Yes, that sounds perfect.
Cool. Yeah, so you walk in, and various priests are milling around. I think they have like, ocean-colored vestments. I guess. I mean, yeah. What do the priests wear? What are their vestments like? What signifies? How do we know that people are priests in this setting? Do they just have a particular type of robe?
Well, there was a priest earlier wearing a robe.
Yeah, true.
So I assume a robe.
And is it any particular type of robe? Like, what actually signifies that they're a priest? Because anyone can wear a robe.
Hmm.
We know that the town officials wear robes, right?
Maybe they have like a basic robe, but then they have like a stole. And the stoles can be like the color, like stoles, like a combination of the robe and stole is like the colors of the god, and there might be like a design on the stole, depending on what god it is.
So I may be completely ignorant here, but what is a stole?
Okay, like when you graduate high school and you have that
Oh.
thing around you.
Yeah, sure, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Sure, perfect. Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah, so the various priests are wearing these. I mean, I guess nobody was appointed the new high priest of the temple, so it's kind of like in a chaos right now.
Right.
But I guess like what do you do? I mean, I don't think anyone really pays attention to you as you walk in. It seems like they're all kind of drawn up in their own things. A couple of them are looking at you and whispering to each other, but you like go up to one of them. Like it's very unclear like what the chain of command is like right now.
Say it again. I'm sorry.
Like none of the priests like come up to you as you enter. So like, how do you go up to one of them randomly? Like, how do you get people's attention? What's kind of the gist here?
Yeah, I would just go up to one of them. Like, I would look
Just like a
probably
random
one that
person,
isn't
or like okay, sorry, go ahead.
one that's like seems the nicest.
Okay.
Or like not busy, like because I also don't want to like bother anyone.
Yeah.
That's busy.
And obviously, since you failed the circles roll, not only do you accidentally choose the meanest one, but you also choose the person who is definitely right in the middle of doing something. But it's like they're thinking about something. They're like,
of course.
Yeah. And you've just interrupted them. So this is an older man. He has long hair. It's braided, like over one shoulder basically. And he what do you say to him when you walk up to him?
I say, hello, I found this
Who? Why are you bothering me?
I have a question.
Well, ask one of the acolytes. I don't have the time for this.
Okay. Well, thank you.
And then as you start to walk away, he says, No. Come here. What do you want? Don't bother the acolytes.
Well, okay. Well, I found this talisman here, and it looks like something isn't right. So I was wondering if you could tell me.
Yes. Well,
about
you're holding
it.
it. That's the thing that's wrong. You're profaning it with your very fingers. Yeah, but I mean,
Well, if you would look,
yeah. he takes it, and I think right away he just says, "Useless, boring," and he just throws it onto the ground. But if you want to, Cyrillus, like you can make. So I guess I'm asking at this point, like, what do you say, and what are you rolling to like convince him to look at the talisman and like tell you what you want? How'd you go about doing this?
I'm gonna say I think there's something wrong going on. That's something very concerning that you may want to know or look into so that it can be fixed, because this something ain't right.
Okay.
Also, that was very vague what I just said.
No. That makes sense. That's a persuasion roll. which you don't
Okay.
have, but we can.
Oh, love that.
We can roll it. Let's do it.
Okay.
So I'm just going to add it in there for you. So yeah, you can go ahead and click on persuasion to be learned. And no modifiers, obviously. No Artha, unless you. I mean, you could, but I wouldn't recommend it.
No.
And then the base op is going to be 5.
Oh gosh.
And then add a 2 in the additional complications.
Oh no.
So it's going to be absolutely impossible to succeed on this, but
I love that for me.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, because it doubles and then it adds the 2. Yeah, so you obviously really fail on this. So mark a challenging test on your will.
Okay.
Cool.
My will. Okay.
Because you obviously don't have the skill yet.
Yes.
Yeah, so you don't have space to put that. Yeah. Yeah. So I think he looks at you and he says, "That was the most vague crap I've ever heard in my life." What do you mean something's wrong? I have no idea what you're talking about. You're bothering me. I have things to do, things to think about. We have to get this right with the sea god, and you're wasting my time.
Okay, well, the person who was wearing this talisman just tried to kill the king. So I need to know what's going on.
Are you trying to command him to tell you?
Yes.
You would basically just invoke your authority. At that point, you get angry.
Yes.
Okay. So you're like, I am a member of the Royal Guard, and you're going to tell me what I want to know. Okay. I mean, you could have a much better time with that one. Poor Cyrillus. He tries to be nice, but he's not good at it. Yeah, I think that's command.
Okay.
And then you can add in intimidation.
Very cool. So that would be 1 modifier?
Yep.
And then what's my obstacle?
Your obstacle is still 5, because that's his will.
Oh, gosh.
And you're going to get a -1, so yeah, I was going to say. You're in a really bad situation
make
right
it
now.
harder to command people.
Well, exactly, because it's bothering you. You're constantly in pain. Yeah, so mark a challenging test on command.
Okay.
And he just stares at you and he says, "I'm sorry. I was not aware that a member of the Royal Guard, no matter how pompous he was, could tell the High Priest of Pyrrhus what to do." And so basically this guy has apparently told him either they all got to him democratically together and voted to make this guy the High Priest, even though the king is supposed to do that. Or something, or he just decided he was. That's what he tells you. Yeah, and so he just looks at you and he's just with disgust. And he just says, like, "Leave. I have no more time for you." You could escalate this even further. You know, he has a good will because he's an old man. You know what he doesn't have? A good body of any sort. You can just beat him up.
Trying to think if that would be smart or not.
I mean, at this point, you still have the backing of the king, right? So, like, you could probably just stab this guy and get away with it. It might come back to bite you if it goes wrong, because Bastion would be like, okay, well, I didn't necessarily say you should just start stabbing people, but if it goes right, then it will be like, oh, okay, you use the force necessary. It's one of those horrible situations you have when you're an employee, where like if you actually take the risk and do it right, everyone's gonna praise you, but if you take the risk and mess it up, it's gonna be like, why in the heck did you take that risk?
I ain't gonna risk it today.
All right,
not today.
So you just leave.
I guess. Maybe I can go to a bar on the docks and just try there to see,
And see if
any of
anyone
them
knows
know
the
it.
talisman. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Perfect, yeah. It sounds like you're making a circles roll again. So that'll be fun. But you can make a drinking test as a link test again, if you would like.
Okay.
Because
So
you're trying to find,
circle
you're trying to find someone particularly who has this
and
information.
One
Yeah.
modifier. And then what's my obstacle?
What are you rolling on right now?
Oh, circles, right?
Well, you're gonna do drinking first as a link test if you'd like to.
Oh.
You don't just automatically get it because it's
Okay.
circles. But yeah, you could do drinking
Gotcha.
with Sailor Wise again.
If it'll work, can I click the button? There it goes.
So one modifier and then ob 2.
2. Please. Can oh my.
Crap, Ola. Well, this will be fun.
RNG!
Yeah, go ahead and make circles roll with an ob of 3 now.
Will do.
The
And 0
horrible
modifiers,
cycle
right?
of having a wound. Yeah, 0 modifiers. Too bad you don't have a fate. Yeah, I got a 6 there. Okay, so yeah, I think the answer to the question is no. Nobody knows about this symbol. But you do, I think, meet someone who has noticed the questions you've been asking.
Okay. But real quick,
Mhm.
do I do anything to the drinking and circle stats?
Yeah, mark another routine on drinking.
Okay. And then circles.
And then circles, you didn't need another challenging, so it doesn't really matter.
Okay, so I don't even do one.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so I think the last thing we see with Cyrillus, right, is you're asking around, nobody knows this, and then we see a guy in a cloak in the corner, Aragorn-like, and he is watching you smoking some illegal drug. Or probably it's not illegal, it's just
Love that.
a drug, because
A drug.
everybody just does drugs, probably. And he's played by oh crap, how do you pronounce his name? Joe Manganiello? I don't know how to pronounce
Oh. Joe Magnolia.
It's not
Joe
Magnolia. Manganiello? Manganiello?
Come on, YouTube. Oh my gosh, do not tell me there's an ad on this video telling me how to pronounce this name.
But so it looks like this. This handsome man in the corner, and we just noticed that he notices you, right? And so he's smoking, and he looks at you, and he's just like, okay, interesting. And so that will come up later. I think what I want to end with is, I don't know, Alpheus or Avra. Maybe Avra, because I guess Alpheus had part of a scene, and then.
So tired right now.
Okay, yeah, sure. Alpheus, do you have a quick thing you want to do? You're muted.
Sorry.
There you
The only thing I thought about earlier was my letter. Is there any?
go. Yeah, I don't think anything immediately comes back with that. Actually, you know what?
Nobody
It's
intercepted
probably
it or something?
it's probably been there's probably been some time, honestly. So I think because we've had time skippy sort of things with all the other characters.
I think I should get arrested. Maybe not stay in jail, but
Why exactly?
because aren't the royal guard trying to find out dissenters and stuff?
Yes.
Didn't that happen? So they intercept my letter, and they're like, they think I could be a dissenter, even though I'm
yeah.
not. I don't know.
No, you're kind of right, actually. That makes sense. That's a good consequence. I wasn't really sure what the consequence of that should be, but that honestly makes some sense. So let's say this. Alpheus, you don't... do you just stay with Malekith? For now? You don't really have somewhere to stay here.
Don't I stay in the... Don't I have quarters in the town and the city?
You have like your business and stuff like back in your town, but I don't.
But I don't have like... I thought, because aren't I living in the city?
You are living in the city, but like I don't think
have a place to live.
Yeah, so I think you're probably staying with Malekith, and I'm sure he'd be fine with that.
That's fine. Yeah, let's do that.
So I think probably what happens is it's not that like they come to Malekith's estate and like try to like interrogate.
I'm like on my way back.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, I think that makes more sense. They wouldn't like storm Malekith's whatever. But let's say it's two guards that we haven't met before, but you know they're members of the Royal Guard or at least the guard in general.
Okay.
And they stop you in the street, and it's not like they just immediately arrest you or anything. But one of them says they're both mid-30s, and one says Honorable Alpheus.
Yes. Who's asking?
My name is I'm trying to think of a name off the top of my head. My name is Arkin of the City Guard. I have a few questions to ask you.
Questions about what?
About a letter.
A letter.
Would you please come with us?
Am I under arrest?
And I think he looks at you and he says, only if you have to be.
All right, let's go. I'll tell you whatever you want to hear.
Yeah, and so they bring you to some guard post or whatever. And I think, it's not like an interrogation room like in a cop movie or whatever, but like they're asking you questions basically. And I guess they ask like, remind me, what exactly did you write in the letter? Was it just like prepare for the worst or something like that?
Yeah, but you said that I wrote it. I didn't pass the rolls to make it.
You didn't, yeah.
So however it was written, it seemed
okay.
like
I have an idea then. Yeah, I have
suspicious.
an idea. Yeah. So they say you hail from Carusia, yes?
Yes, that's correct.
Carusia has been struggling with unrest as of late. And like I guess that's technically true.
Do I know that?
Yeah, I think it's technically true, but like it's mostly what they mean is like they're having a really hard time and have been making pleas to the king and Sinia itself, like because they keep getting raided. Right?
Yeah.
So
yes.
Yeah. And so I think he says, we intercepted a letter of yours that seemed to encourage them to take up arms.
I said no such thing.
And he frowns and he says, I am tasked with protecting this city, protecting Sinia, protecting the king. And when someone suggests to their people in a political power play to prepare for something big, I am tasked to look into such things. What have you to say for yourself, Alpheus?
What's the guy's name?
Arkin.
Look, Arkin. I'm here to lobby on behalf of my people. And so the letter that I sent them was not meant to imply any sort of taking up arms or rebellion or anything of the sort. I'm going to be honest with you, Arkin. My main concern is the safety and protection of my people. And you say you care about Sinia. So do I. Can we just be done with this misunderstanding and you let me return to my quarters?
Make a persuasion check.
All right, what do I need to do?
So you're gonna click on persuasion in your skills there. Obviously gonna be 4. And if you have anything, get a fork. Let's take a look. Sounds like you didn't like mistreat him or anything, so we could add an etiquette.
Okay.
Let's see. Probably bureaucracy. I mean, you're dealing with a level of the bureaucracy here.
Someone that is working in the government.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so what do I need to do?
So click on persuasion.
The dice?
The little die, yeah. And then you can put in 2 for modifiers.
2.
And then you can,
Artha 0.
Artha 0, yeah, you don't have any persona. Anyway,
Base
so
obstacle
is 4.
4. Submit.
There you go. Perfect.
So I'm good.
Yeah. So I think
sweet.
He looks at you and he says, "All right, I understand." And then I think he kind of frowns at you and he says, "I originally did hail from a town on the outskirts as well. We have dealt with Jagati bandits for some time now. I understand the position you're in. Thank you for explaining the misunderstanding, Alpheus."
Thank you, as you were. And then I leave.
I wish you luck, Honorable Alpheus, on your task.
I do whatever's respectful and leave.
Yeah.
I don't know what the respectful thing to do
Yeah.
is.
Cool. Awesome. Well, there we go. Let's go ahead and do beliefs and instincts and stuff and check out. Alpheus, let's go through your stuff, shall we?
All right. Let's do it.
Beliefs. Let's see. I'll oppose anyone who disgraces us. I mean, take a fate. I mean, that's what that last scene was just exactly. That was exactly what that was.
Yeah.
You are also continuing to try to use your status as a politician to see this happens. You tried, so fate. You will see that justice is done for what happened to your family. Again, you're still working on it.
I didn't really, yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, but I didn't really talk about that at all.
Yeah, I guess you didn't make any roles specifically for the like your justice stuff. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
So, 2 fate from your beliefs. Let's see.
I think instinct would just be the last one.
Yeah, I think, go ahead and take another fate for always act deferential to those in power. It continues to just color, interestingly, the way that Alpheus interacts with people, so it's fun to watch. Other than that, I think, I don't think any of your traits really came into play. So,
Yeah.
Cool.
I agree.
So, what do you get? 3 fate points?
3.
Then? Perfect.
Yes.
There you go. Seerless.
Oh.
Let's look at your stuff. The king is not well, but he should not be killed. Even if he needs to go, I will defend him with my life.
I sure tried it.
You sure tried. So you can take a fate.
Okay.
Sea industry needs some more support, and I will attempt to convince
He
the
did
king
try.
to provide it. I think that's probably part of the like thing you're doing right now, right? It's just kind of like you're trying to figure out what's up with the symbol and stuff, and investigating the priest.
So I
and
clicked
whatnot.
the F beside the first one.
Basically, you can do that if you want to. It's there to like for your own personal bookkeeping to be like, oh yeah, I need to remember that I got these points. But you're gonna write them in the other bubble on the other part of the sheet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'll just leave it like then.
Yeah. Politicians cannot be trusted, so I will study them, check on them, interrogate them to discover their true intentions. I mean, get a fate point. That was what you were doing with the priest, right? He counts as a politician. in this
Okay.
sense. But if you want
Did
to,
I
you
get
can.
the second?
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Did I get the second belief?
You did. Yeah, I
Fate
think all
point or
3 of
no?
them. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Good. I'm gonna
It-
need those because
yeah.
my rolls are bad.
So if you, yeah, I know. So if you want to rewrite the third one, you could
Okay.
you could make it to be specifically about this like investigation you're now tasked to do, right? And make it about
Okay.
right, because this is kind of an outgrowth of this, right? Politicians
Right.
cannot be trusted, and so I will investigate the conspirators for the king, right?
Mm-hmm. I will do that.
Yeah. Cool. And yeah, so wounds can be brutal. So I apologize in advance. I was not expecting the treatment to fail. So
It is what it is.
This will be interesting. Try to do as easy stuff as possible. But yeah, well, it'll be interesting to see how that all plays out. Cool. Basically, you need to make allies quickly here so that you can have people to help you with things. Cool. I don't. Take a fate point for if someone other than royal blood works in politics. I will question everything they say. I mean,
cool.
You straight up just like command intimidated the priest. You know, in the middle of the temple. And other than that, I don't think anything else really came into play. So 4 fate points. Yeah. 4 fate points for you, Ophelia.
Cool.
Let's see. Yeah, you didn't keep an eye on Aver with your raven this time. That didn't really come up. You are attempting to train Althea in the ways of my gods, so take a fate point for that. It's going pretty well. And I think that's the only one you really worked on this time for beliefs. Exactly, yeah. Your headphones are really weirdly. The mic is just super weird. Is
that better?
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on with them. They're being funkier.
Yeah. But yeah, you didn't get really another chance to recruit another person. You're still working on Althea right now.
Yeah.
That's okay. So you're definitely gonna get some fate points for your traits, though. I think cruel and lunatic, certainly. You're gonna get fate points for those. So yeah, take fate for both of those. So you get 3? Yeah, 3 fate points.
Okay. And I just put that
into the stats and skills section in that bubble. Yeah.
So now the fates will be 4.
Yeah, you add it to whatever you had before. And then Avra.
I made no rolls, so.
Oops. That's true. Oh, Avra, you should have played to your instinct. If someone less fortunate asks for something vital I can bestow, I offer it. We forgot about that. That was Alpheus's whole thing. Maybe Avra will rethink it and like go back and offer something. But
I'm still muted. I said it's because she was in a bad mood.
Yeah, exactly, pretty much. I'm gonna give you a fate point for either formalist, your grace, or mark of privilege, right? One of those, just for the like noble stuff. Because like the way that you set up the etiquette and that was all interesting. So, take a fate point there. And then let's look at the like extra stuff. So, okay. Here we go. Fate point is earned if a player can stop the table dead with humor while in character. Did anyone have that this time?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so. Right skill, right time. If the character has the right skill when no one else does to keep the story moving, he should be rewarded with a fate point. I would have rewarded it to Cyrillus because of all the C stuff, but he failed all of the rolls, right? So I don't think that really counts. I think I want to give an embodiment one. When a player captures the mood of the table perfectly and further drives the story onward, 1 persona point is awarded to Ophelia. Because holy crap, leaving your apprentice in the middle of the woods to slowly die of dehydration is intense and awesome.
Me.
Yeah. So yeah, go ahead and take a persona point for that then.
A persona one?
Yep.
Sweet. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Does everybody agree with that? Technically it's like a nomination and everybody votes on it
Yeah.
thing, but I feel like that was pretty cool. Awesome. And then the other things that we go through real quick is steel tests. So let's look at that.
I feel like I'll have one of those.
Oh,
or
yes,
something.
you definitely will, for having the guy beheaded right in front of you. Let's take a look.
That reminded me of Mistborn when they try to attack I forgot his name.
Lord Ruler?
Oh my gosh, yeah, the Lord Ruler.
Yeah.
Oh,
And then
right.
he just destroys them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. All right, what actually happened to people this time? So, Alpheus didn't really have anything happen to him steel-worthy. Neither did
He got arrested.
Yes.
No, I'm just kidding.
But I don't think that really counts.
Nothing like watching a beheading.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So, you can make it's an OB3 test for witnessing real bloodshed and gore.
Okay.
So let's take a look and see if that actually that counts for anything for you. So you have 6 in steel, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a routine for you. So you've seen stuff like that before.
Okay, so I just click a routine.
It doesn't. Yeah, routines don't matter for you anymore, so it doesn't. Yeah.
Oh,
no
okay.
reason to click it. Yeah.
Okay. Oh well, it won't go away. So there it is.
Yeah, little X right next to it.
Oh,
You can click. That pops up when you go right next to the bubble.
I don't. Oh, there. Oh, it's gone. Okay.
I got it.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Great.
Let's see. Ophelia. I feel like you need to get a steel test for.
She's crazy, man.
I just caused a lot of problems. Like, I didn't really witness anything. I just made my snake bite a human and basically tortured
That's
one.
fair. You didn't actually witness anything. You just told her to stay there, and then you. Yeah, and honestly, your steel is 6 too, so there's no way that you wouldn't get anything high enough to witness a steel test for a steel test to count for you. Cool. The very last thing we have to do, and I'm sure something will happen here, is corruption.
Oh no.
Yeah, I think you definitely got a test for corruption this time. Did you lie or commit a willful falsehood?
Not even close. Yes, like 8 times.
Exactly, yeah. So, OB1 test there. Let's take a look at your stuff.
I'm gonna get destroyed.
I mean, if you keep acting like this, you will advance your corruption. Yeah, so that's a routine test for you. Casting a spell, you did the faith in dead gods. So there you go. That's another routine. And let's see. Physically causing harm to another person. Think you did that. Yeah, so you advance your corruption because you get a difficult test for that.
Am I gonna get some weird thing now?
You're gonna have to roll on the thing again. Okay, so it advances to 4. And you're gonna roll on this table. What's great is like so many people all the people who've had corruption in the past very rarely go to the intense extremes as you just did already in this. So like you're gonna advance this very quickly. No, it's great. It totally makes sense. Like
it's more fun that way.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So go ahead and roll a d6 plus 4.
Oh gosh. Okay. So dash. No. Yeah.
Slash
Or slash, yeah. And then
slash r space 1d6 plus 4.
like a plus sign?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh no.
All right, you get the lame trait.
Like I can't walk now?
Well, it doesn't like specifically do that. It makes you let's see, one of the character's legs is deformed or permanently injured, causing the character to walk with a pronounced limp. Reduce the character's stride by 1. In addition, the character may not benefit from any skill or trait that increases the stride, like sprinter. So it's not that intense. It will definitely hurt you if we ever get into like a official fight using the fight rules, which is the more advanced combat stuff. But
I'm less graceful. That messes with my image.
I know it does. But you have a limp now, basically, is what it means. Yeah.
Evil has a price, Maria.
Exactly. Seriously, yeah, that's what it is, right?
I'm not gonna stop doing creepy stuff.
I know you aren't. Yes, you have. It doesn't even have to be pronounced because it's like the only mechanical thing is just like related to stride, which doesn't really come up unless you're doing fight rules and stuff. So you can just describe your character as having a limp, but it doesn't have to be super pronounced. But yeah, basically you wake up one day and you feel like you're more in tune with the dead gods, but your leg just hurts all the time now.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's great.
Fun.
I'm gonna ruin this poor character.
Yes, you will.
Oh, it's so good. I love it though.
All right, so I'm gonna add that to your trait list here. You had trait lame. Perfect. There we go. That has been our second session of Death Unto Madness. Thank you all for playing. That was so much fun. I definitely think my favorite part of the session was Ophelia's not tying up, but like leaving her apprentice in the woods to slowly die of dehydration, which is not something I expected to happen this session, but it did happen. Cyrillus talking with the priest was also a lot of fun. And Alpheus talking with anyone is honestly a lot of fun because he just has a very interesting mindset about him. So yeah, cool stuff. We may be back next week. Is everybody free next week? Good for next
I
week?
should be, yeah.
Next week probably works. All right, cool. Well, there you go. That's Death Unto Madness. Thanks for playing, guys. That was a lot of fun. Adios.